What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Luna's miscarriage results from her confrontation with Electra. According to the Bold and the Beautiful, Luna Nozawa might be expecting Will Spencer's child, but her carelessness could result in a miscarriage. This doesn't appear to be enough for Luna to relax and be content. It appears that catastrophe may strike after a confrontation with Electra Forrester, as the pregnancy ends in miscarriage. Luna Nozawa is not a worthy mother to any child. Even when Luna finally got the 2 tiny pink lines she so desperately desired, it appears that bold writers might choose to have Luna miscarry. When Will finds out that Luna is expecting his child, he will be appalled, but he may realize he enjoys the thought of becoming a father. With this baby, Luna will undoubtedly strive to strengthen her relationship with Will. It's obvious that Electra will not like this at all and will let Luna know where she may find her ideal family. Fans are aware that Luna's actions would undoubtedly cause friction between the two of them. Regardless of whether a kid is on the way or not, Electra wants Luna to stay away from Will. The baby is lost by Luna Nozawa. A confrontation between Luna and Electra could end tragically if Luna somehow loses the baby and tries to place the blame on Electra. Naturally, Will won't fall for Luna's claims because Electra wouldn't purposefully harm anyone. If this occurs, Luna might lose her mind and attempt to kill Electra in a eye-for-an-eye situation. Luna might cause Electra to suffer the same terrible fates as Tom Starr and Paul Hollis-Hollister. Additionally, Luna nearly killed Steffi Forrester. If Luna loses her kid and places the blame on Electra, she might undoubtedly find herself in serious trouble. Will Luna live? The child of Luna Nozawa might not survive. Luna might lose her child, which would undoubtedly cause her to lose her mind once more. Although it's difficult to predict who else Luna could target, you can be certain that Electra would be at the top of the list. Will Luna wind up where she belongs, in jail? Will Bill intervene once more to prevent his granddaughter from being born in jail? Given everything Luna has done since her release, will she return to prison, where she belongs? Since pursuing Steffi this time, Luna has committed a number of crimes. What will become of Will, Luna, and their child? To find out where the tale is headed, keep returning. After a disastrous showdown, is Electra to blame for Luna's miscarriage accident? There are hints on the Bold and the Beautiful that Luna Nozawa might be about to have a miscarriage accident. When a confrontation ends badly, will Luna point the finger onto Electra Forrester? Although Luna finally received the pregnancy test result she had hoped for, this does not guarantee that she will give birth to Will Spencer's child. There might not be a little Spencer running about at the end of this plot. B&B might instead go the traditional soap opera path. Will might eventually embrace Luna's pregnancy and learn to enjoy the thought of becoming a parent, despite his initial shock. Trouble may be on the horizon, but Luna may use their child as a twisted means of bonding with Will. There will be many intense confrontations about Will and everything Luna has done because Electra is obviously a rival of Luna. One of those face-offs might eventually turn catastrophic. Luna might lose her pregnant kid as a result of an accident, such as a tumble down a dirty staircase. If that occurs, Luna might try to turn Will against her by blaming Electra. This might be a fresh tactic Luna uses to try to take Will away from him. Naturally, Luna might go utterly insane if she is unable to win Will over and no longer has a child to bind them together forever. Luna might plot to use her life to exact revenge on Electra. Fans of B&B are aware that Luna brought about the tragic deaths of Paul Hollis-Hollister and Tom Starr. Steffi Forrester also came dangerously close to being Luna's killer. Since Luna is capable of heinous acts, Electra may be in serious danger, particularly if Luna blames her for a baby's death. Keep checking back for any updates on any miscarriage news that may be developing, as there is no assurance that Luna and Will's child will really be delivered. According to the Bold and the Beautiful, Luna will continue to cause trouble no matter what. Outside the Forrester offices, the lights of Los Angeles glittered like tiny shards of glass against a black velvet sky, but inside, tension had reached a fever pitch. At the center of this storm was Luna Nozawa, who clutched her stomach with one hand and her pregnancy test results with the other, her mind racing with equal parts triumph and terror because, despite getting the 2 pink lines she so desperately wanted proof that she was carrying Will Spencer's child, there was no joy or peace. Only the nagging realization that her position in this twisted triangle with Will and Electra Forrester was untenable, combustible, bound to ignite. When Electra confronted her in the showroom, her eyes blazing with fury, her voice shaking with righteous indignant, accusing Luna of destroying lives, manipulating Will, and putting the Spencer and Forrester families in danger with her reckless choices. Luna's defenses broke down, and what came out was not reason but venom, a tirade filled with desperation and spite, insisting that this baby would tie her to Will forever, that Electra would never separate them, that she was the one who would have a family with him, not Electra, never Electra. The words lingered in the air like a curse, escalating the confrontation from heated words to dangerous movement, with two women circling each other like wild predators, neither of whom was willing to back down. Then the sickening sound of impact echoed through the room as Luna fell to the ground, her cry piercing the air, a guttural scream that seemed to echo through the Forrester building, and in that moment both women knew, without words, without confirmation, that something irreversible had happened. Luna twisted away violently, her heel catching on the edge of the design platform, her body pitching forward in what seemed like agonizing slow motion as she whimpered, "My baby, oh God, my baby, Luna's." Hands gripped her stomach, her face twisted in pain, and tears fell down her cheeks. Electra's rage turned to despair and helplessness as she knelt next to her opponent and insisted that she had never intended to hurt her. However, Luna's mind, which was already collapsing, took advantage of the opportunity to direct her pain in a different direction. Her voice was shaking with accusations as she said that Electra had pushed her, that Electra had wanted this to happen, that Electra had stolen her child before it had a chance to live, and that despite Electra's protests and her assurances that she had only attempted to stop the fight, Luna's eyes burned with a deranged certainty and she vowed to make her pay. When the paramedics arrived, they took her to the hospital, but the damage had already been done, the fragile pregnancy had ended tragically, and as the doctors discreetly broke the news that she had miscarried, Luna's grief turned into something darker, something more venomous than sorrow, a storm of rage that demanded an outlet, and in her fractured mind, Electra became the embodiment of everything that had been taken from her: love, security, a family, and a future. Will was shocked and guilty at the same time, and his initial disgust at the pregnancy gave way to an unexpected sense of loss because, despite his fear of becoming a father, the idea had already taken root. Even as he tried to console Luna, who alternated between pleading for his love and screaming that Electra had killed their unborn child, rumors quickly circulated among the Forrester and Spencer circles, with Brooke Logan adamant that Electra would never intentionally harm anyone. Sheila Carter, ever the opportunist, smirked at the chaos and was already planning how to take advantage of Luna's grief because a woman who felt she had been cheated out of a child was ripe for manipulation, a ticking time bomb that she could aim at anyone she pleased, and Ridge Forrester reminding everyone that Luna's history of manipulation made her claims suspect. Lee Finnegan icily declaring that perhaps fate had intervened to prevent Luna from raising a child she was unfit mother, and Bill Spencer promising to shield his son from further involvement in Luna's chaos. Luna's grief grew into an obsession as her mind repeatedly reenacted the confrontation, each time depicting Electra in a more negative light, until she was certain that Electra had intentionally pushed her, that justice required retribution, and that if her baby couldn't live, then neither could Electra. This new vendetta brought back the dangerous Luna who had almost killed Steffi Forrester, who had planned the tragic deaths of Tom Starr and Paul Hollis Hollister, who had repeatedly demonstrated her capacity for heinous deed acts covered by excuses of love and retaliation. Despite Will's entreaties, she was urged to heal and accept the tragedy as an accident. Electra confided in Hope Logan and Eric Forrester about her fear that Luna's grief had crossed into madness, but their warnings were ignored by some because tragedy always blurred the line between victim and villain in the melodramatic weave of high society in Los Angeles. However, one thing was certain: the miscarriage that had started as a heartbreaking accident had changed into the catalyst for another cycle of violence, betrayal, and retribution. Luna's obsession with retribution consumed every waking thought, causing her to follow Electra's every move, observe her routines, and question whether her path led to prison. It was unclear whether she would die young or achieve some perverse victory over her rival, but the scene was set, the characters were in place, and the consequences of that one encounter, two women fighting for love, pride, and fate, would reverberate throughout the bold and beautiful universe, demonstrating once more that no happiness was pure, no tragedy unfulfilled, and no loss too sacred to be used as a weapon in the never-ending struggle of passion, treachery, and survival.